शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. வாகர்த்தாவிவ சம்பிருக்தௌ வாகர்த்த பிரதிபத்தஹே ஜகதः பிதரௌ வந்தே பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வரௌ. ஸ்ரீ பார்வதி பரமேஸ்வராभ्यां நமः. कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि अर्थान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മന്യനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so just do a quick review of 77. It's got 12 stanzas. You can do 6 each. Padmaja Meikundam and Lakshmi Garu, can you do half of 6?
Yeah, today can anyone?
Okay, Lakshmi Garu, can you do half 77?
77? Yeah.
Yeah. And then let me see who else ahead. Minu or Preeti, can one of you do it? Or Lalita? Okay, go ahead, Lalita. Lalita Murli, yeah.
Sai
Yeah, Lakshmi. Yeah, go ahead.
सैरन्ध्रियास्तदनुचिरं स्मरातुरायाः याथो भूः उद्भवेन सार्धम् आवासं त्वदुपगमोत्सवं सदैव ध्यायन्त्याः प्रतिदिनवास सज्जिकायाः उपगते त्वयि पूर्णमनोरथां प्रमदस्सं भ्रमकं प्रपयोधरां विविधमाननमादतीं मुदा रहसिता रमयान् चकृषे सुखम्.
The second line, first half, there's a double dha there. Vividamananam adhatim mudha.
विविधमाननमादतीं मुदा रहसिता रमयान् चकृषे सुखम्.
Rahasitam im.
रहसितां
Yeah.
रहसितां रमयान् चकृषे सुखम्. पुष्टावरं पुनरसा ववृणोद्वराकी भूयस्त्वया सुरतमेव निशान्तरेषु सायुज्यमस्त्विति वदेत् भदुयेव कामं सामीप्यमस्त्वनिशमित्यपि नाब्रवीत किम्.
Third line, Buddha eva kamam.
वदेत् बुधयेव कामम्. ओके. ततो भवान् देवनिशासु कासुचित् मृगीदृशं तां नृभृतं विनोदयन् अदातु पश्लोक इति श्रुतं सुतं स नारदात् सात्वततन्त्रविद् भवौ अक्रूरमन्दिरमितोत बलोद्वाभ्याम् अभ्यर्चितो बहुनुतो मुदितेन तेन येनं विसृज्य विपिनागतपाण्ड्यवेय वृत्तं विवेदित तथा धृतराष्ट्रचेषां विघाता जामताहुः परमसुहृदो भोजनृपतेः जरासन्धेरुन्धत् यनवधि रुषान्धेत मथुरां राधाद्यैर्द्योर्लब्धैः कतिपय बलस्त्वं बलयुतः स्त्रोयो
This will go away.
त्रयोविंशत्यक्षौहिणी तदुपनीतं समहृताः.
Yeah, stop there. The Baddam.
बद्धं पलादथ फलेन बलोत्तरं त्वं भूयो बलोद्यमरसेन मुमोचितैनं निःशेषदिग्जयसमाहृतविश्वसैन्यात् गोन्यस्ततो हि बलपौरुषवांस्तथा तदानीं भग्नस्तलग्नहृदयोऽपि नृपैः पृणन्नो युद्धं त्वया व्यदितषोडशकृत्व एवम् अक्षौषहीनि शिव जगन्थ विष्णो सम्भूय सैकनवतित्रिशतं तदानीं.
The third line, Akshauhinish.
Hinisha.
Akshauhini
शिवास्य जगन्थ विष्णो सम्भूय सैकनवतित्रिशतं तदानीम् अष्टादशेस्य समरे समुपेयुषित्वं दृष्ट्वा पुरोथ यवनं यवनत्रिकोट्या त्वष्ट्राविदाभ्य पुरमाशुपयोधि मध्ये तत्राथ योगफलतः स्वजनाननैषीः पद्भ्यां त्वं.
No, the four line, sorry, that's 4-line tune, but Padmyam tvam Padmamali.
पद्माप्त्यं पद्ममाली चकित इव पुरान् निर्गतो धावमानो म्लेच्छेषेनानु. Can you please say that?
Yeah, my voice is gone. but you pick up the pitch accordingly. Padvyam tvam padmamali chakita iva pura nirgato dhavamano mleceshenanuyato.
वदसुहृतभिः येन शैलेन्यलेशीः सुप्तेनाङ्ग्र्याहतेन धृतमतमुशुकुन् तेन भस्मीकृतेऽस्मिन् भूभायास्मै गुहान्ते सुललितवपुषा तस्तिशे भक्तिभाजे ऐक्ष्वाकोऽहं विरक्तोऽस्म्यखिलन् नृपसुखे त्वत्प्रसादैककाङ्क्षी हा देवेति स्तुवन्तं वरविततिषुतं निःस्पृहं वीक्ष्य हृष्यन् मुक्ते स्तुल्यां च भक्तिं धुतसकलमलं मोक्षमप्याशु दत्त्वा कार्यं हिंसा विशुद्ध्यै तप इति च तदा प्राप्तलोकप्रतीत्यै.
And the third line, after the comma is after dhuta sakala malam, and then the comma, the third line. Okay.
Oh, okay. Dhuta sakala malam
Mukte stulyam cha bhaktim dhuta sakala malam, then comma.
Okay. Tadan.
Same tune.
Okay. Maduram gatva hatva cha mum yavanahritam Magadapatina marge sainye spureva nivaritaha Charama vijayam darbhayasmai pradhaya palayito Jaladi nagarim yato Vatalayeshwara pahimam Shritishwar Parmane Namaha.
Yeah, that is the same tune as the previous one. Like tadanu maturam gatva hatva cha mum yavana vritam magadapatina marge sainyai pureva nivaritaha. Same tune, that's shorter length.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll continue with 78. See who had. Yeah,
Rajesh, it's
Chunga.
me.
Enna Lalita?
It's me or like another Lalita?
No. Padmaja Mekundam and Madhu, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Previously I called Lalita Murli. Okay, Dasakam 78. So this has got two parts to this. One is Dwaraka Vasa Varnanam. So Krishna stay in Dwaraka. And Rukminya Sandeshascha. So message to Rukmini. Sandesham to Rukmini. So that's a one. Tridashavardhaki Vardita Kaushalam Tridashadatta Samasta Vibhutimate Jaladi Madhyagatam Tvamabhushayo Navapuram Vapuranchita Rochisha. So here it starts in the previous chapter, Dashakam, it spoke about how Krishna, along with the help of Vishwakarma, built this massive fortress in the middle of the ocean, which was 12 yojanas in circumference, so 96 diameters in 96 miles in circumference, right, around in the middle of the ocean. So in this really, in Bhagavatam, it has a detailed description of how Dwaraka is. It talked about how it was constructed like well beyond its times, because Vishwakarma had constructed it. It was no other city which was actually resembling that in terms of the structures it had, the height of the structures, and all the things that were embedded and how it was well organized. So it kind of talks in detail about all of that. And so when Krishna eventually, when all the people in Madhura were moved over there overnight, and eventually Krishna and Balarama, after this Muchukunda incident happens, and after Jarasandha comes for the 18th time, they also come over to Dwaraka. And then it talks about how all the various gods, like Indra, Varuna, all came. It was like a Graha Pravesham, right? So they all are coming, and then they are all giving different things to Krishna there in Dwaraka. And it became like a massive city or establishment there. So if in case some books may have 3 Diva in the first word, if you have it, just change it to 3 Dasha. It means the same thing. It just means that the gods, right? So 3 Dasha, Vardhaki, Vardhita, Kaushalam, comma, 3 Dasha, Datta, Samasta, Vibhutimate, Jaladi, Madhyagatam, Tvamabhushayo, comma, Navapuram, Vapuranchi Tarochisha. So it was the highest of architecture that was actually built there, which was established. त्रिदशवर्धकी वर्धितकौशलम् त्रिदशदत्तसमस्तविभूतिमत् जलधिमध्यगतं त्वमभूषयो नवपुरं वपुरञ्चितरोचिषा
त्रिदशवर्धकिवर्धितकौशलं त्रिदशदत्तसमस्तविभूतिमत् जलधिमध्यगतं त्वमभूषयो नवपुरं वपुरञ्चितरोचिषां त्रिदशवर्धकिवर्धितकौशलं त्रिदशदत्तसमस्तविभूतिमत् जलधिमध्यगतं त्वमभूषयो नवपुरं वपुरञ्चितरोचिषा
त्रिदशवर्धकिवर्धितकौशलं विभूतिमत् जलधिमध्यगतं त्वमभूषयो नवपुरं वपुरञ्चितरोचिषा त्रिदशवर्धकिवर्धितकौशलं त्रिदशदत्तसमस्तविभूतिमत् जलधिमध्यगतं त्वमभूषयो नवपुरं वपुरञ्चितरोचिषा
Answer 2. ददुषिरेवत भूभृतिरेवतीं हलभृते तनयां विदिशासनात् महितमुत्सवघोषमपूपुषः समुदितैर्मुदितैः सह यादवैः. So before Krishna's Swayamvaram Rukmini is going to happen, his elder brother Balarama has to get married, right? So it goes that long time back, nobody knows how many years back, there was a king called Revata. So this Revata had a massive kingdom under the waters, in the depths of the ocean. So he was a very powerful king, under the ocean, he had a palace and all that. Anyway, so he wanted the best groom for his daughter, Revati. Revata's daughter, Revati. So he then goes and looks around because he was such a powerful ruler. He was able to go anywhere he wanted. He was under the water anyways. So he looks all over the world. He's not able to find the person who meets all his criteria. So he says, okay, there's nobody in earth who meets my criteria. So I'm going to go access Satyaloka because he had access. He was some unique person. So he was able to go all the way to Brahma and then request a appropriate groom for his daughter. So when he gets a chance to meet Brahma and he says, I've come here requesting a groom for my daughter. He says, you didn't realize, oh Revatha, the time it took for you to come, he was able to instantly go to Brahmaloka. But a minute in Brahmaloka is several thousand years on earth. So he says, by the time you go back to earth, your entire dynasty, your civilization, everything is gone. There is going to be nobody that you know who's ever going to be left there. Everybody you know is gone because thousands of years, I think 28 Chatur Yugas would have passed, he says. So one Chatur Yuga is a combination of all of those, 4 Yugas. He says some 20 plus Chatur Yugas would have passed by the time you return back to earth, right? In the time you spent in Brahmaloka. But he says, don't worry, for all the things that you have done and your daughter Revati has done, by the time you reach earth, Dwapara Yuga, in this particular, the Manu will be going on, Vaivasvata Manu, and an incarnation of Bhagavan Balarama is going to be there in Dwaraka. So he says, you go give your daughter in marriage to Balarama because he is the appropriate groom for your daughter. So when he comes, of course, everything has changed, right? Because thousands and thousands of years have passed. And then he finally comes over to Dwaraka and there Revati gets married to Balarama. And then they have a big celebration and marriage with that. And that's how Balarama first gets married to Revati, sorry. Dadushi Revata Bhubriti Revatim, Halabhrite Tanayam Vidhi Shasanat Mahitam Utsava Ghosham Apupushaha, Samuditair Muditaihi, put is Muditais Sahayadavaihi. Dadushi Revata Bhubriti Revatim Halabhrite Tanayam Vidishasanat Mahitam utsava ghoshamapupushaha samuditair sahayadavaihi.
ददशिरेवत भूभृतिरेवतीं हलभृते तनयां विधिशासनात् महितमुत्सवघोषमपुपुषः समुदितैर्मुदितैः सह यादवैः ददुशिरेवत भूभृतिरेवतीं हलभृते तनयां विधिशासनात् महितमुत्सवं घोषमपुपुषः समुदितैर्मुदितैः सह यादवैः
ददुशिरेवत भूभृतिरेवतीं हलभृते तनयां विधिशासनात् महितमुत्सवघोषमभूपुषः समुदितैर्मुदितैः सह यादवैः ददुशिरेवत भूभृतिरेवतीं हलभृते तनयां विधिशासनात् महितमुत्सवघोषमपुपुषः समुदितैर्मुदितैः सह यादवैः.
Answer 3. Maybe Lalita can explain, Lalita Murli can explain this maybe concept of time dilation. When you go at extremely high speeds, then the time is moving at a different pace than when it is actually moving in Earth, right? So when he has to go to Satyaloka, he has to go at extremely fast speeds. And it is also in a different plane altogether. So at that rate of time change is different from Earth. So that's why that 1 second in Brahmaloka was equating to several thousand yugas here. Anyway.
Sir, but Rajesh, ஒரு question. அவர் வந்து இத்தனை மன்னோதரம் போயிட்டு ரேவதி மட்டும் ரேவதியா இருந்தாளா?
No, because that King Revatha and Revati, they were not like normal beings, because you and I cannot go to Brahmaloka, right? Satyaloka, right? So they were one of those really, unique, or I don't know what they were, right? So because they were able to even access Brahmaloka, right? So Avalod Vyas, if your question is, did their age not change? It doesn't talk about what their age was, but their age is definitely not
but
1,000
when they came back, their kingdom itself will be ruled by somebody else, right?
That entire place itself is gone, right?
Yeah, okay.
So everything is gone, because you come back after thousands of years, you don't even know what is there where, right? So, but essentially they are told that you go to Dwaraka, you go to Earth, and in Earth you go to Dwaraka because there Balarama is there. So they just essentially end up coming there and getting married to Balarama, but yeah, nothing else is there. It talks about in Bhagavatam how they come, their relatives are not there, their palace is not there. Of course, nothing is going to be there after thousands of years, right? Everything has changed fundamentally. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. Yeah. But he's supposed to be, I'm assuming he's a very powerful person. The very fact that he could go to Brahmaloka meant that he was a very powerful person, right? So essentially he's able to come there and meet with Krishna and Balarama. So stanza 3. Ata vidarbasutam khalu rukminim pranayinim tvaideva sahodaraha Swayamadit satachedi mahi bhuje swatamasa tamasadhumupashrayan. So we come to the present now, after Balarama is getting married to Revati. So at that time, in the region of Vidarbha, which is current Nagpur, there was a king called Bhishmaka. So that king Bhishmaka, he had several children, but he had 5 sons and he had 1 daughter. The eldest son's name was Rukmi, and the daughter's name is Rukmini. He's one of the daughter, and he had 5 sons. So this King Bhishmaka was a very nice person, right? He was a proper ruler. He was spiritually advanced, all of that stuff. But this Rukmi was in that gang of Kamsa, Jarasandha, all of that, which we spoke last time. He was in that gang. And also in that gang was the ruler of Chedi, which is Shishupala, who is getting introduced now, but we'll talk more about him later. So they are all like one gang, right? The axis of evil there, they're all kind of connected there. So this Bhishmaka, this Rukmini who is there, right from the beginning, people used to visit the land, Bhishmaka's land, right? And they used to all talk about this person called Krishna, who they say is like just very handsome, very powerful, very strong. They used to always keep talking about it. So just hearing about the beauty of Krishna, hearing about the strength and the character and all of Krishna, Rukmini is in love with Krishna. She hasn't even seen him, right? But she falls in love because Rukmini is an incarnation of Mahalakshmi. So she has to marry Krishna anyway. So so with that, she's set her mind on marrying Krishna, although she has not seen him. But Rukmi, her brother, like all the movies, has another plan. So he wants her to marry Shishupala because they want to grow their kingdoms, right? So they say, so he wants to set her marriage up with Shishupala. So that is the current status that is there. So he's arranging for that marriage. Atha Vidarbha Sutam Khalu Rukminim, प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयम् अदित्सत चेदि महीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुम् उपाश्रयन्. If you want to break it, that तमसाधुम् उपाश्रयन्. अथ विदर्भसुतां खलु रुक्मिणीं प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयमदित्सत चेदि महीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुमुपाश्रयन्.
अथ विदर्भसुतां खलु रुक्मिणीं प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयमदित्सत चेदितमहीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुमुपाश्रयन्.
Second line first off. Chedi mahibhuje. You added an extra tha there. There's no tha.
Chedi mahibhuje.
Yeah.
Okay. अथ विदर्भसुतां खलु रुक्मिणीं प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयमदित्सत चेदिमहीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुमुपाश्रयन्.
अथ विदर्भसुतां खलु रुक्मिणीं प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयमदित्सत चेदिमहीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुमुपाश्रयन्. अथ विदर्भसुतां खलु रुक्मिणीं प्रणयिनीं त्वयि देव सहोदरः स्वयमदित्सत चेदिमहीभुजे स्वतमसा तमसाधुमुपाश्रयन्.
That's a चिरधृत प्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षित भङ्ग समाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशते स्वकदनं कदनङ्ग विनिर्मितम्. So that Balika, that girl Rukmini, she's been in love with Krishna for several years. It's not a recent thing, right? So right from Krishna, I don't know from what time when Krishna was in Madura or when he moved to Dwaraka, but she's been in love with Krishna and she's decided that she wants to marry Krishna. But her brother has a different plot. So this is just going to be like a movie, actually, like most of the movie stories. So her brother says, okay, marriage with Rukmini is fixed. So at that time, Rukmini doesn't know what to do. She is not, her father doesn't care. Her father is like perfectly fine for him. So what Rukmini now does is she cannot run away, right? Because if she runs away, then everybody is going to start chasing her. So she knows she cannot elope right now on her own. So what she does is she sends a messenger. She sends a Brahmana boy. She writes a letter. And in that letter, she actually, sends a message out to Krishna to tell him, you have to go today to the Brahmana boy because Vidarbha is Nagpur area. Krishna is in Dwaraka. It's not too far, but he has to cross the ocean and all that. So she sends, you have to go today and pass on this message to Krishna. So with that, she's sending a message. Chira dhrita pranaya tvai balika, sapadi kankshita bhanga samakula, tava nivedayitum dvijamadishate, swakadanam kadananga vinirmitam. चिरधृतप्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षितभङ्गसमाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशत् स्वकदनं कदनङ्गविनिर्मितम्
चिरधृतप्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षितभङ्गसमाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशत् स्वकदनं कदनङ्गविनिर्मितम् चिरधृतप्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षितभङ्गसमाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशत् स्वकदनं कदनङ्गविनिर्मितम्
चिरधृतप्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षितभङ्गसमाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशत् स्वकदनं कदनङ्गविनिर्मितम् चिरधृतप्रणया त्वयि बालिका सपदि काङ्क्षितभङ्गसमाकुला तव निवेदयितुं द्विजमादिशत् स्वकदनं कदनङ्गविनिर्मितम्
That's fine. द्विजसुतोऽपि चतुर्णमुपाययौ तव पुरं हि दुराशदुरासधं मुदमवाप च सादरपूजितः स भवतापहृता स्वयम्. So now in college, they send these letters because I know my friends used to do that. Literally, I know my friend who got literally married that way. So they send, so she's sending this letter. Now, this person, it's not easy for this Brahmana to reach Dwaraka because the whole reason Krishna moved to Dwaraka is so that not anybody can come as they want, right? So that Jarasandha, etc., doesn't keep attacking. But anyway, Krishna, because you knew what was going to happen, that Brahmana was able to come. Because the point being, it is not easy to enter Dwaraka. But the Brahmana is able to enter. And when he enters there, then Krishna then knows that he has come and Krishna welcomes him right now. And then the conversation is going to start from the next stanza. Dvija sutopi cha turnam upayayau, tava puram hi durasha durasadam mudamavapacha sadara pujitaha. So he welcomes him, then, pujitaha means he worships the Brahmana, right? And we'll see that later on Kuchela also comes, the same thing. So Krishna will wash the feet here, he welcomes the Brahmana, makes him settled. Toma, sa bhavata bhavatapa hrita swayam. Dvijasutopi chaturnamupayayau tava puram hi durasha durasadham mudamavapa cha sadhara pujitaha sa bhavatapa swayam.
द्विजसुतोऽपि च तूर्णमुपाययौ तव पुरं हि दुराशदुरासदं मुदमवाप च सादरपूजितः स भवतापहृता स्वयं द्विजसुतोऽपि च तूर्णमुपाययौ तव पुरं हि दुराशदुरासदं मुदमवाप च सादरपूजितः भवतापहृता स्वयम्.
द्विजसुतोऽपि चतुर्णमुपाययौ तव पुरं हि दुराशदुरासदम् मुदपवाप च सादरपूजितः स भवतापहृता स्वयम् द्विजसुतोऽपि चतुर्णमुपाययौ तव पुरं हि दुराशदुरासदम् मुदपवाप च सादरपूजितः स भवतापहृता स्वयम्.
That's Madhu, that second line, first word, mudamavapa.
Mudapavapa cha sadara.
No, Ma sound. Mudama vapa.
Oh, yes, thank you. Mudamavapa, thank you.
Stanza 6. Sacha bhavantamavochat kundine nripasutha khalu rajati rukmini त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता rahitaya hitaya prahitosmyaham. So Krishna then gets it Brahmana in, welcomes him, washes his feet, feeds him first, and all of that stuff. And then he then asks the Brahmana, okay, you have come here for some purpose, right? So he says, what is the purpose you have come here for? How can I help you? And what do you need? Have you come for some charity or whatever? So Krishna is asking him. So the Brahmana, he has a letter that Rukmini has physically sent, right? So he says, Rukmini has sent me a letter, and my role is I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to read the letter because he doesn't want to, provide his commentary on the letter or what Rukmini wants, right? He says, I'm just going to read you the letter as is. And in the next stanza, he's going to read the letter. So with that, he starts telling about it. Sacha bhavantam avochata kundine, comma, nripa suta khalu rajati Rukmini, long e, tvai samutsukaya nija Dhirata rahitaya. So you put a plus there, and you can say it together. Nija dhirata rahitaya hitaya prahitosmyaham. Sacha bhavantamavochat kundine nripasuta khalu rajati rukmini त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता rahitaya hitaya prahitosmyaham.
Rajesh ji, one small thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
The first line, Kundine or Kundino?
Kundine.
Kundine. Okay.
Yeah, in the Sanskrit, the ne, I don't know, it's in the city of Vidarbha.
Okay.
City of Kundina is like, the Vidarbha is a region, the Nagpur region, Vidarbha. Kundina is a capital city there, the capital of their kingdom. So,
Okay.
स च भवन्तमवोचत कुण्डिने नृपसुता खलु राजति रुक्मिणी त्वयि समुत्सुकया या निजधीरता रहितया हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम् स च भवन्तमवोचत कुण्डिने नृपसुता खलु राजति रुक्मिणी त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम्.
yeah, I think you'll get it. The thing says, Tvai samutsukaya nijadhirata rahitaya hitaya prahitosmyaham.
त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम्. Yeah.
स च भवन्तमवोचत कुण्डिने नृपसुता खलु राजति रुक्मिणी त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता रहितया हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम् स च भवन्तमवोचत कुण्डिने नृपसुता खलु राजति रुक्मिणी त्वयि समुत्सुकया निजधीरता रहितया हितया प्रहितोऽस्म्यहम्.
7 and 8 is the Sandesham. We'll say 7 and 8 and then say the meaning together. Tava hritasmi puraiva gunairaham, comma, harati mam kila chedi nripodhuna aikripalaya palaya mamiti, comma, prajagade jagadeka pate taya. Tava hritasmi puraiva gunairaham harati mam kila chedi nripodhuna ayi kripalaya palaya mamiti prajagade jagade kapate taya.
तव हृतास्मि पुरैव गुणैरहं हरति मां किल चेदि नृपोऽधुना अयि कृपालय पालय मामिति व्रजगद्
Yeah, prajagade
Pra, is that?
Yeah, pra. Yeah.
Prajagade jagade kapate taya tava hrutasmi puraiva gunairaham harati mam kila chedin rupo dhuna ayi krupalaya palaya mamiti prajagade jagade kapate taya.
तव हृतास्मि पुरैव गुणैरहं हरति मां किल चेदिनृपोऽधुना अयि कृपालय पालय मामिति प्रजगदे जगदेकपतितया तव हृतास्मि पुरैव गुणैरहं हरति मां किल चेदिनृपोऽधुना अयि कृपालय पालय मामिति प्रजगदे जगदेकपतितया.
Sanjay, Asharanam yadi mam tvamupeksase sapadi jeevitameva jahamyaham iti gira sutanoratanodbhrisham suhridayam tava kataram. This is Rukmini Sandesham is actually a very famous topic. A lot of people have given commentary on what Rukmini actually communicated in the letter. It was a very crisp, tight letter. So she didn't write a long lecture in the letter, right? And she's very crisply, when you write a mail, when you send an email asking for something, you kind of have to say what is you need, what is the problem, what help you need, what if it happens, and what if it doesn't happen, right? And what is the action to be taken. So she literally writes a letter there saying that I have heard about you, Krishna. I have not seen you, but I have heard about your qualities. I've heard about your strength. I've heard about your beauty. I've heard about all of these things. And with that, I have fallen in love with you. It took me saying, so I fall in love with you. And I figured that for me, the best person to marry in this entire world, if I'm looking for the best groom, it is you, because you have all the qualities and all the qualifications that I am looking for. So she says, in my mind, I have already chosen you as my husband. So you have to come and marry me. That is the thing. But she's also telling the problem now. She's saying the problem is my brother Rukmi has arranged for my marriage with Shishupala, and he is going to prevent this marriage from happening. So she says, Krishna, very clear instructions saying that if I have done all the right things in my life, and if I am the right person for you to marry, then I want you to come, because my marriage ceremony is beginning tomorrow. So this person is reading the letter today. The Brahmana is reading the letter today. The marriage ceremony is starting the next day, and the marriage is a day after tomorrow. She says the marriage ceremony is happening tomorrow. So I want you to come to Vidarbha with your entire army, defeat of all these people, this Chedi and Rukmi and everybody who is there. And she literally says, and I want you to take me along with you. Right? He says, he gives a clear plan. And she says, she gives two other very important pieces of information. She says, if you don't come and take me, then she says, I'm going to give up my life, because I don't want to get married to Shishupal. So that is the result of you not taking action of taking me. I'm going to give up my life. Now she also says, I know you will be wondering, because a bride, bride is kept very protected before marriage for this exact reason. So they don't run away with somebody else, right? So she says, I know you will be wondering how you can get hold of me. She says the day of the marriage, in the morning, I have to go to this Ambika temple along with all of my, people who are there. When I'm coming down from there, I want you to just grab me and just run away, and then make sure your army is battling the rest of the people. So she gives very clear instructions to Krishna. I want to marry you. I'm in love with you. You need to come and rescue me. This is how you come and rescue me. And if you don't, I'm going to give up my life. So that's the Rukmini Sandesham. It's a beautiful set of stanzas that Rukmini writes in Sanskrit. Dushyant Sridhar specifically calls that out, saying how she was extremely educated. And she writes a beautiful poem, requesting this to Krishna. Asharanam yedi mam tvamupekshase, sapadi jeevitameva jahamyaham iti gira Sutanor atanot. I'm just breaking at the ra if you want. Sutanor atanot brisham, suhridayam hridayam tava kataram. So we're hearing that Krishna is feeling very, sad because he's very happy and sad mixed because he's happy that Rukmini is in love with him, but he's also figuring out how he can go and help. Asharanam yadi mam tvamupeksha sapadi jeevitamev jahamyaham iti gira sutanoratanodbhrisham suhridayam hridayam tavakataram.
अशरणां यदि मां त्वमुपेक्षसे सपदि जीवितमेव जहाम्यहम् इति गिरासुतनोरतनोद्भृशं सुहृदं हृदयं तव कातरम्.
Last line. Suhridayam hridayam tavakataram.
Yeah, got it. अशरणां यदि मां त्वमुपेक्षसे सपदि जीवितमेव जहाम्यहम् इति गिरासुतनोरतनोदुभृशं सुहृदयं हृदयं तव कातरम्.
अशरणां यदि मां त्वमुपेक्षसे सपदि जीवितमेव जहाम्यहम् इति गिरा सुतनोरतनोद्भृशं सुहृदयं हृदयं तव कातरम्. अशरणां यदि मां त्वमुपेक्षसे सपदि जीवितमेव जहाम्यहम् इति गिरा सुतनोरतनोद्भृशं सुहृदयं हृदयं तव कातरम्.
Answer 9. Akatayastvamathainamaye sakhe tadadika mama manmatha vedana nrupasamakshamupetya haramyaham dayitam asite kshanam. So when the Brahmana reads this letter there, then Krishna is telling that Brahmana, he says, just like how Rukmini's mind is fixed on me, he says, my mind is also fixed on her. She says, Krishna says, I know about it. And, we are going to go and we are going to get Rukmini, right? So don't worry. So with that, Krishna says that I will personally come and then we'll go and get Rukmini here. So that's the message Krishna is giving to the Brahmana. And then they're going to plan in the next answer. Akatayas Tvamathainamaye Sakhe, Tadadika Mama Manmatha Vedana Nripa Samaksham if you want to break it that Samaksham Upetya Haramyaham, Tadayi Tam Dayitam, breaking at that Dayitam Asitekshanam. Akatayas Tvamathainamaye Sakhe Tadadika Mama Manmata Vedana Nrupasamakshamupetya haramyaham dayitam asitekshanam.
1 minute. अकथयस्त्वमथैनमये सखे तदधिका मम मन्मथ वेदना नृपसमक्षमुपेत्य हराम्यहम् दयिताम् असिते क्षणाम्. अकथयस्त्वमथैनमये सखे तदधिका मम मन्मथ वेदना नृपसमक्षमुपेत्य हराम्यहम् दयिताम् असिते क्षणाम्.
अकथयस्त्वमथैनमये सखे तदधिका मम मन्मथ वेदना नृपसमक्षमुपेत्य हराम्यहम् दयिताम् असिते क्षणाम्. अकथयस्त्वमथैनमये सखे तदधिका मम मन्मथ वेदना नृपसमक्षमुपेत्य हराम्यहम् तदयितां दयितामसि तीक्ष्णाम्.
Okay, we'll just switch halfway. Nalini, you can be student, and Minu, you can be student. Stanza 10. प्रमुदितेन च तेन समं तथा रथगतो लघुकुण्ठिनमेहिवान् गुरुमरुत्पुरनायक मे भवान् वितनुतां तनुतां निखिलापधाम्. Because now Krishna, so like I said, it's the previous what do you call the day. It's next morning is becoming. So Krishna knows exactly when he has to go there and when Rukmini's that event is going to happen the next day. So with that, he's planning, and then he, along with the Brahmana, set out on the chariot to go to Kundina, to Vidarbha. Pramuditena cha tena samam tada, rathagato laghu kundinam eyivan Guru Marut Puranayaka me Bhavan, Bitanutam Tanutam Nikhila Padham. Says Guru Rapa, you also please, all the afflictions, all the diseases and everything I'm having, please reduce it and completely eliminate it for me. So with that, this Dashakam comes to an end. Pramuditena chat. Did we break it? No. Pramuditena chat tena samam tada, Rathagato Lagu Kundinam Eyivan Guru Marut Pura Nayaka Me Bhavan, Vitanutam Tanutam Nikhila Padam. Pramuditena Chatena Samam Tadha Rathagato Lagu Kundinam Eyivan Guru Marut Pura Nayaka Me Bhavan Vitanutam Tanutam Nikhila Padam.
Rajeshi, for the last line, Tanuta Makhila Padam.
Okay, just change it to Nikhila Padam, for consistency, but it's essentially all the afflictions and everything that I'm having.
Tanutam Nikhilam Padam.
Yeah, Bitanutam, Tanutam, Nikhila Padam.
Okay. Pramuditena chatena samam tada radagato laghukundina meyivan Guru Marut Puranaya Kadme Bhavan Vitanutam Tanutam Nikhila Padam Pramuditena chatena samam tada radhagato laghukundina meyivan Guru Marut Puranayaka me Bhavan Vitanutam Tanutam Nikhila Padam
प्रमुदितेन च तेन समं तथा रथगतो लघुकुण्डिनमेहिवान् गुरुमरुत्पुरनायक मे भवान् विदनुतां तनुतां निखिलापदां प्रमुदितेन च तेन समं तथा रथगतो लघुकुण्डिनमेहिवान् गुरुमरुत्पुरनायक मे भवान् विदनुतां तनुतां निखिलापदां श्रीकृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः.
Dashakam 79. Rukmini Parinaya Varnanam. So wedding of Rukmini. Stanza 1. Balasameta Balanugato Bhavan Puramagahata Bhishmakamanitaha Dvijasutam Tvadupagamavadinam Dhritarasa Tarasa Prananamasa. So Krishna just, he decided to leave with that Brahmana instantly and saying, okay, we are going to get there. This is the previous day of the marriage, right? The first day of the marriage, the main marriage is happening the next day. So Krishna decides to go there. So Balarama is, thinking that, okay, this Krishna just left. But, what if there's an entire army? Because Rukmi knows that Rukmini wants to marry Krishna. And remember that Rukmi, this Jarasandha, Shishupala are all one gang. So they all know that Krishna is somehow going to come there. Balarama is going to come. The Yadava army is going to come. So they have a full army stationed there. So Balarama says, you can't just go Krishna alone. So he then follows Krishna along with an entire army. So they all reach that area, but Krishna goes in first, right? And So when they do that, so the Bhishmaka, who's the king, who's the father of Rukmini, he's welcoming Krishna and Balarama in because he doesn't know why he has come. He thinks he's come for the marriage. So he welcomes him in. And then this Brahmana's first duty is what? To go tell Rukmini Krishna is here. So he quickly goes to Rukmini and in secret tells her that I was able to meet Krishna. Krishna also wants to marry you. And Krishna is actually here also in that area right now to take you away. Right. So that's a message he communicates to Rukmini. Bala Sameta Balanugato Bhavan, Puramagahata Bhishmaka Manitaha Dvija Sutam Twadupagama Vadinam, Dhritarasa Tarasa Prananamasa. Balasameta Balanugato Bhavan Puramagahata Bhishmakamanitaha Dvijasutam Tvadupagamavadinam Dhritarasa Tarasa Prananamasa.
Balasameta balanugato bhavan puramagahata bhishmakamanitaha dvijasutam tvadupagamavadinam dhrutarasa tarasa prananamasa. Balasameta balanugato bhavan puramagahata bhishmakamanitaha Dvijasutam tvadupagamavadinam dhrutarasa tarasa prananamasa.
बलसमेत बलानुगतो भवान् पुरमगाहत भीष्मकमानितः द्विजसुतं त्वदुपागमवादिनं धृतरसा तरसा प्रणनामसा बलसमेत बलानुगतो भवान् पुरमगाहत भीष्मकमानितः द्विजसुतं त्वदुपागमवादिनं धृतरसा तरसा प्रणनामसा.
Answer 2. भुवनकान्तमवेक्ष्य भवद्वपुः नृपसुतस्य निशम्य च चेष्टितं विपुलखेदजुषां पुरवासिनां सरुदितैरुदितैरगमन्निशा. Like I said, all of this Shupala, Dhantap, and this actually is more to that gang, like Kamsa is gone, but the Shishupala, Dhantavaktra, then Salva, Jarasandha, all of these people, they all have their armies, including Poundraka. So they're all one gang. So they all have stationed their armies there and they have kept it at various points. And they have said, if Krishna ever tries to come and grab Rukmini, we all are ready for a battle. So we'll make sure Krishna and Balaraman don't leave from here. So with that, he's posted guards at all those places. Now, when Krishna is going there, some of the people of Vidarbha who are meeting Krishna, who are looking at Krishna and saying, Krishna, you are, what is the word I'm looking for here? Bhuvana Khantam Aveksha. You are the one who is, the entire world falls in love with you, Krishna, because of your beauty. So by looking at you, the people of Vidarbha are telling, what, this person is so handsome. He's the one who really looks like a king. He's so strong. He's powerful. We heard so many things. He's the best groom for Rukmini. But unfortunately, Rukmini is going to get married to Shishupala. So with this, the people of Vidarbha also feel that, Krishna, you are the right person. You are the perfect match for Rukmini. And they all are a little disappointed that night, because Rukmini is going to get married to Shishupala. Bhuvana Kantamavekshya Bhavat Vapuhu. So put a visarga and comma there, Vapuhu. Then on top of the Nr, there's a Ir that goes away. Nripa Sutasya Nishamya Chacheshtitam Vipula Kheda Jusham Puravasinam, comma. Saruditair. I'm breaking at the Ru there, Ir and U. Saruditair Uditair. Another breaking at the Ra if you want. Agamanisha. So it's easy to break it that way. Saruditair Uditair Agamanisha. Bhuvanakantamaveksha bhavatvapuhu Nrupasutasya nishamya cha cheshtitam Vipulakheda jusham puravasinam सरुदितैरुदितैरगमन्निशा
भुवनकान्तमवेक्ष्य भवद्वपुः नृपसुतस्य निशम्य च चेष्टितम् विपुलखेदजुषां पुरवासिनां सरुदितैरुदितैरगमन्निशा भुवनकान्तमवेक्ष्य भवद्वपुः नृपसुतस्य निशम्य च चेष्टितम् विपुलखेदजुषां पुरवासिनां सरुदितैरुदितैरगमन्निशा
भुवनकान्तमवेक्ष्य भवद्वपुः नृपसुतस्य निशम्य च चेष्टितम् विपुलकेतजुषां पुरवासिनां सरुदितैरुदितैरगमन्निशा भुवनकान्तमवेक्ष्य भवद्वपुः नृपसुतस्य निशम्य च चेष्टितम् विपुलकेतजुषां पुरवासिनां सरुदितैरुदितैरगमन्निशा.
Answer 3. तदनुवन्दितुमिन्दुमुखी शिवां विहितमङ्गलभूषणभासुरा निरगमद्भवदर्पितजीविता स्वपुरतः पुरतः सुभटावृता. So this Rukmini is now getting ready, getting prepped. So she's Indumukhi, means the one who has a face like a beautiful round moon. So very pleasant face, well rounded face. So that Indumukhi is well decorated. Vihita Mangala Bhushana. So she's putting all the necessary ornaments. She's the bride, right? So she's all well decked up. And like I said, she has not even seen Krishna. She has no idea how Krishna is going to take her away as well. All she knows is Krishna is in town and Krishna is going to help her out. Now, but the most important thing here is Bhavad Arpita. She has completely surrendered herself, right? So she has kind of said, Krishna, you are the one who has to come and help me. I don't care how, and and all of that, but she said, you have to help me. She's completely surrendered. And so now the bride, along with all the other members, now is entering the temple, Ambika temple, entering a Devi temple there. So the Bhavani temple. And then they have all the soldiers and everybody who's waiting. And then she enters into the temple right now. Tadanu Vanditum Indumukhi Shivam, Vihita Mangala Bhushana Bhasura Niragamat Bhavadarpita Jivita, Swapurataha, put a F, Swapuratah, Purataha, put a Is, Puratas, Subhatavrita. So she's leaving from her chambers, from her palace, and she's going to this temple, followed with all the soldiers. Tadanu vanditumindu shivam vihita mangala bhushana bhasura niragamad bhavadarpita jivita swapuratah purata subhatavrita.
तदनुवन्दितुमिन्दुमुखी शिवां विहितमङ्गलभूषणभासुरा निरगमद्भवदर्पितजीविता स्वपुरतः पुरतः सुभटावृता तदनुवन्दितुमिन्दुमुखी शिवां विहितमङ्गलभूषणभासुरा निरगमद्भवदर्पितजीविता स्वपुरतः पुरतः सुभटावृता.
In the last line, Purata Sapatan Kurtarka, Supatan Markita.
Subhatavrita, yeah.
तदनुवन्दितुमिन्दुमुखी शिवां विहितमङ्गलभूषणभासुरा निरगमद्भवदर्पितजीविता स्वपुरतः पुरतः सुपटावृता तदनुवन्दितुमिन्दुमुखी शिवां विहितमङ्गलभूषणभासुरा निरगमद्भवदर्पितजीविता Swapuratah puratah supatavruta.
And then su is the right thing because the word su, when it is added as a prefix, is good, right, or well. So Subhatavrata is like well protected by the soldiers. Another than Su, sir, may be a mistake there. Stanza 4. कुलवधूभिरुपेत्य कुमारिका गिरिसुतां परिपूज्य च सादरं मुहुरया च तत्पदपङ्कजे निपतिता पतितां तव केवलम्. So she's going to the Parvati temple. So very similar, if you remember, when the Gopikas during the Margani Masam, they prepared a statue of Katyayani, and then they say Katyayani Mahamaye. They prayed to Katyayani and said, Nanda Gopa Sutam Dehi. We want to marry that Nanda Gopa's son. Right? That was the prayer that they actually did, the Gopikas. And then that's how, then the Rasa Krida, they got a chance there. So similarly, this one beautiful stanza, I'm just going to read it from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the prayer that Rukmini is doing, right? Namasye tvam ambike bhikshnam santana yutam shivam bhuya patirme bhagavan krishnas tadanu modatham. So she's saying that, oh Ambika Devi, you along with your husband Shiva and along with all of your children, Sutam, all your Ganapati and Muruga, all of you have to collaborate. All of you have to collaborate and make sure that Krishna is marrying me, that I am actually getting married to Krishna. That is a prayer she actually does there in the temple. And, and they're all still inside the temple right now, and she does the prayer. Kula Badhu Bhirupetya Kumarika, Giri Sutam Paripujya cha Sadaram Muhura Yachata Tat Pada Pankaje, Nipatita Patitam Tava Kevalam. So here in this Bhattadripad's language, you Kevalam, only you should be her husband and nobody else should be the husband. That's the prayer she's doing. Kulavadhu Bherupetya Kumarika Girisutam Paripujya cha Sadharam Muhuraya Chata Pada Pankache Nipatita Patitam Tava Kevalam.
कुलवधूभिरुपेत्य कुमारिका गिरिसुतां परिपूज्य च सादरं मुहुरया च तत्पदपङ्कजे निपतिता पतितां तव केवलम्. कुलवधूभिरुपेत्य कुमारिका गिरिसुतां परिपूज्य च सादरम् मुहुरया च तत्पदपङ्कजे निपतिता पतितां तव केवलम्.
कुलवधूभिरुपेत्य कुमारिका गिरिसुतां परिपूज्य च सादरम् मुहुरया च तत्पदपङ्कजे निपतिता पतितां तव केवलम्. कुलवधूभिरुपेत्य कुमारिका गिरिसुतां परिपूज्य च सादरम् मुहुरया च तत्पदपङ्कजे निपतिता पतितां तव केवलम्.
Stanza 5. Samavaloka kutuhala sankule nrupakule nibhritam tvai chastite nrupasuta niragad girijalayat suruchiram ruchiranjita dengmukha. So everybody, you have to kind of visualize this, right? They're all standing outside the temple. All the kings, everybody is waiting there. Rukmini is inside the temple. And, you also, Krishna, are hiding somewhere in there with all the other people. You are also standing. So, they all finish the puja inside the temple. And then she receives a prasadam. She's now coming out, right? So, they talked about how as a bride, she's in a vow of silence the previous day and all of that stuff. And then she breaks that vow of silence in the temple. And then along with all her other maid servants, she's coming out. So when she's coming out, it says, in Dasakam 28, if you remember, when Mahalakshmi is coming out of this ocean, when the churning is happening, it talked about how everybody falls for her. And it's like as if a lightning is coming in the middle of a dark cloud. So similarly, it says when Rukmini comes out, she's so beautiful that everybody there falls for her. She's the entire, attention of everybody who is there. And everybody's just enchanted with her as she's now beginning to come out of the temple. Samavaloka कुतूहल संकुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगात् गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्जित दिङ्मुखा समवलोककुतूहलसङ्कुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगाद्गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्जितदिङ्मुखा
समवलोककुतूहलसङ्कुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगाद्गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्जितदिग्मुखा समवलोककुतूहलसङ्कुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगाद्गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्जितदिग्मुखा
Sorry, ஒரு second. Nalini, it's ing sound. Dingka.
दिङ्मुखा
समवलोककुतूहलसङ्कुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगात् गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्जितदिङ्मुखा समवलोककुतूहलसङ्कुले नृपकुले निभृतं त्वयि च स्थिते नृपसुता निरगात् गिरिजालयात् सुरुचिरं रुचिरञ्जितदिङ्मुखा
That's the sixth. भुवनमोहनरूपरुचा तथा विवशिता किल राजकदम्बया त्वमपि देवकटाक्ष विमोक्षणैः प्रमदया मदयाञ्च कृशे मनाक्. This continues the description, saying, like this marriage is about to happen. She's coming out of the temple. All the kings are waiting. No, Krishna is not to be seen. So the people are all gazing at her beauty and, how she's all decked up. Now, this is Bhagavatam very beautifully, Shukha Brahman says, she as a bride, as a princess, she can't just lift her face and look everywhere, right? Because that is doesn't meet the standards of the bride or the princess, right? So she says, with the tip of her fingers, she's slowly adjusting her hair over her ears. And with that, she's just glancing to see if she can see amongst this crowd. She doesn't see Krishna, but she's seeing among this crowd. Does anybody look like that could be Krishna, right? Because she knows he's somewhere hiding there. And, because it's Rukmini and Krishna, Mahalakshmi and Narayana. So, but the moment she sees somebody who's standing there, who's very differently dressed and everybody else is like a king, right? So they're all dressed very, elegantly. There's one person who's not dressed like that. And then the moment she sees that with the corner of her eyes, she knows, okay, Krishna is there. So at least he's actually made it there. Now let's see if he can help me out. But she can see, she spots Krishna there. Bhuvana Mohana Rupa Rucha Tada, Vivashita Kila Raja Kadambaya Twamapi Deva Kataksha Vimokshanaihi, Pramadaya Madayan Chakrishe Manak. Bhuvana Mohana Rupa Rucha Tada Vivashita Kila Raja Kadambaya Twamapi Deva Kataksha Vimokshanaihi Pramadaya Madayan Chakrishe Manak.
भुवनमोहनरूपरुचा तदा विवशिताखिलराजकदम्बया त्वमपि देवकटाक्षविमोक्षणैः प्रमदया मदयाञ्च कृषे मनाक् भुवनमोहनरूपरुचा तदा विवशिताखिलराजकदम्बया त्वमपि देवकटाक्षविमोक्षणैः प्रमदया मदयाञ्च कृषे मनाक्
भुवनमोहनरूपरुचा तथा विवशिता किल राजगदम्भया त्वमपि देवकटाक्षविमोक्षणैः प्रमदयामदयाञ्च कृषेमनाक् भुवनमोहनरूपरुचा ददा विवशिता किल राजगदम्बया त्वमपि देवकटाक्षविमोक्षणैः प्रमदयामदयाञ्च कृषेमनाक्.
That's a 7. Kvanugameshyasi chandramukhi sarasametya karena haran kshanat samadhiropya ratam tvamapahritaha bhuvitato vitato ninado dvisham. So as she's coming down from the steps of the temple, Rukmini, to get into her chariot or whatever, suddenly somebody calls out to her, saying, "Oh Chandramukhi, the one whose face is like a moon. No, Konegamisheti, where do you think you are going?" She hears a sound, and then somebody just grabs onto her hand. And so like you said, she doesn't even bother to see who it is. Now, if she resists her hand, then there's a few seconds lost. Then people are going to come and try to fight that person. But she doesn't even resist. She doesn't look. The moment she hears the voice, she knows it's Krishna. So she extends her hand. So it's easy for Krishna to grab her hand. And Krishna then grabs onto her hand, pulls her onto the chariot. And in an instant, they are out from there. And everybody is just left wondering what just happened. There was somebody just randomly comes from the crowd, gets into a chariot and just grabs her hand and runs away. Right. But there's a beauty there is, there was suddenly confusion all over, because she had to volunteer to offer. If she doesn't offer her hand, then that becomes a problem. Just she hears it and she knows it is that, she knows in her heart, and then Krishna just elopes away with her. Kvanu gamishyasi chandra mukhiti tam, sarasametya karena haran kshanat samadhiropya ratam tvamapahritaha. Put a visargan comma there, comma. Bhuvi tato vitato ninado dvisham. Kvanugameshyasi chandramukhiti tam sarasametya karena haran kshanat samadhiropya ratam tvamapahritaha bhuvi tato vitato ninado dvisham.
क्वनुगमिष्यसि चन्द्रमुखीति तां सरसमेत्य करेण हरन् क्षणात् समधिरोप्य रथं त्वमपाहृताः भुवि ततो विततो निनदो द्विषाम् क्वनुगमिष्यसि चन्द्रमुखीति तां सरसमेत्य करेण हरन् क्षणात् समधिरोप्य रथं त्वमपाहृताः भुवि ततो विततो निनदो द्विषाम्
ग्वनुगमिष्यसि चन्द्रमुखीति तां सरसमेत्य करेण हरन् क्षणात् समतिरोप्य रथं त्वमपाहृताः भुवि ततो विदतो निनदो द्विषाम् ग्वनुगमिष्यसि चन्द्रमुखीति तां सरसमेत्य करेण हरन् क्षणात् समतिरोप्य रथं त्वमपाहृताः भुवि ततो विदतो निनदो द्विषाम्. Bhuvanakant and Chandramukhi.
Ama. Chandramukhi, we keep thinking of the Chandramukhi and thinking it's you have the split personality and a bad person, but it's actually a good term, right? It's like Chandramukhi means the one who has the face of a full moon, a round, shining, bright face, right? Stanza 8. Kvanugata Pashupala ite krudha kritarana yadubhischa jitan nrupaha natu bhavanuda chalyata tairaho pishunakai shunakai rivakesari. So everybody has Kvanugamish, where did she go? They who is this? Where did this cowherd boy Krishna suddenly come? And then suddenly come and take this away, because this was exactly, they knew this was going to happen and they had arranged for it, but still they are all just surprised how this even happened. So while this army is there, the rest of the Yadava army is beginning to fight with it. But it says, you are like a lion. You just go and the dogs bark, the lion doesn't stop, right? Lion doesn't respond to anybody else. So with that, Krishna, you just put Rukmini on the chariot, which has got the symbol of Garuda in there, and then you just elope away with her. Balarama and the rest of the army is fighting out with all of the other armies who are there. Kwanu gatah, put a F, gatah pashupala iti krudha, comma, kritarana yadubhischa jita nripaha natu bhavan udachalyata tairaho, comma, pishunakaihi, put a ish, pishunakaish shunakairiva kesari, long e. Kvanugata pashupala ite krudha kritarana yadubhischa jita nripaha natu bhavan udachalyata tairaho pishunakairiva kesari.
क्वनुगतः पशुपालयिति क्रुधा कृतरणायदुभिश्च जिता नृपाः न तु भवानुदचाल्यततैरहो पिशुनकैः शुनकैरिव केसरी क्वनुगतः पशुपालयिति क्रुधा कृतरणायधुभिश्च जिता नृपाः न तु भवानुदचाल्यततैरहो पिशुनकैः शुनकैरिव केसरी.
என்னோட the first line last word கிருத்தான் கொடுத்திருக்கு கிருதாதானா
The krudha.
கிருத்தா
இல்ல just to KRU crew
இத்து
tha.
கிடையாது
Yeah, so crew oo sound krudha, no double da in there.
क्वनुगतः पशुपालयिति कृता कृतरणायतुभिश्च जिता नृपाः न तु भवानुत चाल्यतदैरहो विशुनकैः शुनकैरिव केसरी क्वनुगतः पशुपालयिति कृता कृतरणायतुभिश्च जिता नृपाः न तु भवानुदचाल्यतदैरहो पिशुनकैश्चुनकैरिव केसरी केसरीना இங்க என்ன
Lion. The shunakai is referring to a dog. Kesari refers to a lion. That's a nine. Tadanurukminamagatamahave vadamupeksha nibadhya virupayan kritamadam parimuchya balokti bihi puramaya ramaya sahakantaya. So while the armies are battling, one of the person comes to fight with Krishna and Balarama is Rukmi, who's Rukmini's brother. And, so Krishna and Balarama are able to defeat him. Now, at that time, the question comes to what to do with Rukmi, right? So Krishna and Balarama, they want to just get rid of Rukmi at that time. But Rukmini tells, it's the day of my marriage. And on the day of my marriage, you're going to try to get rid of my brother. So she pleads saying, don't do anything to Rukmi. And Rukmi anyway could not die then because later on, Rukmi's daughter is going to marry Krishna's son, right? So anyway, so that marriage has to happen. And then there, Rukmi's another granddaughter is going to marry Krishna's grandson. So that thing is going to get 2 levels of marriage is going to happen, right? With Pradyumna, Aniruddha, they're all going to get married. And eventually Rukmi is going to die. He's going to get killed at the hands of Balarama, which is going to come much later. So anyway, so with this, you just let Rukmi go. So Rukmi, who's now very disappointed, right? Because he's committed to his best friend Shishupala that I'm going to give you my sister. And then they're going to expand their ties. So he's very disappointed. But his friend Jarasandha says, don't worry, Rukmi. I was defeated 17 times. I never gave up. 18th time I defeated Krishna, right? So similarly, you also don't worry. We'll all team up. We're all as a group. We will continue to battle Krishna and Balarama. And with that, he consoles Rukmi about this. And you, oh Krishna, you come along with Ramaya. You come along with Mahalakshmi, who's Rukmini. You both come back to Dwaraka. Tadanu Rukminam Agatam Ahave. If you want to break it, that ma that Rukminam Agatam Ahave, comma Badam Upeksha Nibadhya Virupayan Hritamadam Parimuchya Balokti Bihi, comma Puramaya Ramaya Sahakantaya. Tadanu rukminamagatamahave vadhamupekshya nibadhya virupayan Hritamadam parimuchya baloktibihi puramaya ramaya sahakantaya.
Rajeshri, for the second line, vadhumupekshya. Vadhu or vadha?
Vadham upekshya.
Vadha. Tadanu rukminamagatamahave vadhamupekshya nibadhya virupayan Hrutamadam parimuchya baloktibihi puramaya ramaya sahakantaya. Tadanu rukminamagatamahave vadhamupekshya nibadhya virupayan Hrutamadam parimuchya baloktibihi puramaya ramaya sahakantaya.
तदनुरुक्मिणमागतमाहवे वदमुपेक्ष्य निबध्य विरूपयन् हृदमदं परिमुच्य बलोक्तिभिः पुरमया रमया सह कान्तया तदनुरुक्मिणमागतमाहवे वदमुपेक्ष्य निबध्य विरूपयन् हृदमदं परिमुच्य बलोक्तिभिः पुरमया रमया सह कान्तया.
We'll do one more. It's got 12 stanzas, but you can't finish it. So, Nava Samagama Lajjita Manasam, Pranaya Kautuka Jrumbhita Manmatham Aramayaha, put a each sound, Aramayah Kalu Natha Yatha Sukham, Rahasi Tam Hasitam Shula Sanmukhim. So they both come over to Dwaraka. So everybody is extremely happy in Dwaraka. So now, because Rukmini didn't have a proper marriage, so she says, proper marriage has to be conducted, right? So with that, the entire Dwaraka is nice and decorated, and Krishna and Rukmini get married there. And then, just that's essentially what it talks about. And Rukmini is very shy because she's now married to a person she hasn't seen at all, right? First time she's seeing him, and then she just got married. She says, yes, a new bride, Rukmini, you were very shy with Krishna at that time. So anyway, they get married. That's the takeaway here. Nava Samagama Lajjita. Sorry, we told that. Nava Samagama Lajjita Manasam Pranaya Kautuka Jrumbhita Manmatham Aramayah Kalunathayata Sukham Rahasitam Hasitam Shulasanmukhim.
Navasamagamalajjitamanasam pranaya kautukajrumbhitamanmadham aramayah kalunatha yatha sukham rahasitam hasitam shulasanmukhim. Navasamagamalajjitamanasam pranaya kautukajrumbhitamanmadham aramayah kalunatha yatha sukham rahasitam hasitam shulasanmukhim.
नवसमागमलज्जितमानसां प्रणयकौतुकजृम्भितमन्मताम् अरमयः करुणादयता सुखं रहसितां हसितां शूलसन्मुखीं नवसमागमलज्जितमानसां प्रणयकौतुकजृम्भितमन्मताम् अरमयः करुणादयता सुखं रहसितां हसितां शूलसन्मुखीं.
The class, yeah. Shri Krishna.
ராஜஸ்ரீ ஒரே ஒரு அப்சர்வேஷன், எல்லா ஸ்லோகத்திலயும் கடைசியில ஒரு டபுள் வேர்ட் வர மாதிரி இருக்கு இந்த தசகத்துல. புறமயா ரமயா ரஹசிதாம் ஹசிதாம் அந்த மாதிரி. அது ஏதாவது சமஸ்கிருதத்துல ஏதாவது ஸ்பெசிபிக்?
Yeah, no, I think what essentially, and I wanted to say it in a few places, but every place where he's doing it, for example, the Ramaya, it is Puram Aya. Okay, his place, first word, Puramaya, right, is you did return to your place, which is Dwaraka. Ramaya is Rama. So everywhere he's using it, he's using one word literally means what it is, like Ramaya, but the other word has the word Ramaya there, but it is not Ramaya. It is Puram Aya, right?
So அது வார்த்தைகளை வச்சு விளையாடுற மாதிரி
he's
இருக்கு.
playing with words. You are absolutely right. This, I wanted to say that, but I miss saying it in a lot of places in this, right?
ஆமா, எல்லாத்துலயுமே கடைசி லைன்ல வருது. எல்லா ஸ்லோகத்திலயும் கடைசி லைன் வருது.
Yeah, if you look at it, stanza 4, Nipatita patitam, right? So Nipatita is to fall, Tava patitam. So it's completely different words. And next one, Suruchiram Ruchiranjitam, right? So Anmari onno he's just playing with words, but the other word you cannot just take a portion of this word. It's a different word altogether. Combination of two words which forms a sandhi which ends with this.
ரொம்ப பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா இருக்கு இதுல.
One more இது வந்து what I googled, Balarama and Revati வந்து ஆதிசேஷா and Nagalakshmiya.
Okay, Revati is okay. Yeah, that's why it says maybe she's staying under the water, the ocean where Revata
So
Revata
she is
was
actually
there.
Nagalakshmi who was destined to marry Adishesha.
Yeah.
Like Krishna and Rukmini.
Yeah.
Lakshmi Madri, adu vandu Adishesha and Nagalakshmi.
Because I think every time Krishna, like you said, everybody else also incarnates along with them, right? And that's how the thing happens. So. And
they will unite in every incarnation.
avataram, yes, correct. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam Kalateshavadibhyam Nirmuktam Nityamuktam Nigamashatasahasrena Nirbhasyamanam Aspashtam Drishtamatre Punarurupurusharthatmakam Brahmadattvam Tattavadbhati Sakshat Gurupavanapure Anta Bhagyam Jananam Kahena Vacha Manasendrirva Buddhyatmana va prakrute swabhavat karomi yat sakalam parasmai narayanahi samarpayami. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.